Good morning, children. Today we will start the government scheme, that is NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. The name was first kept as a NREGA. Now 2005. Now it is MNREGA, Manrega 2005. So under this scheme, they will provide the work for the unskilled people, the youth, those who want to do the job. They will apply for the job. If the government within 15 days of their application, if the government is failed to give them work, the government will provide them the unemployment allowances. So under this scheme is coming under the right to work. Each and every citizens of our country having the right to work. So 100 days assured job under this Manrega 2005. Under this, the government have given the 100 days assured job. If government will fail, they will give the unemployment allowances. And it is boundary of the 5 kilometer of your residence. The people who will get under the 5 kilometer residence, then what type of work they will engaged with, and maximum unskilled people they will get the work under this scheme. You see, the people are engaged in this work, they are coming under the Manrega. This picture indicating the people, those who are engaged in that unskilled work, this type of work are coming under the Manrega, and the government will provide this type of work to the people. So children, this is all about. Last class also we have discussed about this, and today also. So our next subtopic is organized sector and unorganized sector. The classification of economic sector based on the employment. Where the people are working. See that Kanta is working in an office, getting the assured job security. She also getting the other benefits like medical benefits, gratuity, provident fund, house rent allowances, paid leave, overtime payment, as well as when he joined, she got the appointment letter. So some rule regulation prevailing where the Kanta is working. Second case, Kamal. Kamal is working in a tea stall, a small tea stall. There is no fixed time for working hours. There is no paid leaves. If no work, no pay, then there is no such type of facilities what Kanta is getting in her office. So in case of a Kamal, he is working in a unorganized sector which is not having any rules and regulation. But where Kanta is working, every rules and regulation is there. So in first case, Kanta is working in a organized sector. In case 2, Kamal is working in a unorganized sector. Here children, you say organized sectors are those sectors which are registered under government rule and regulation, and which are followed the rules and regulation of the government, and it is registered under the government rules and regulation. They are having some particular process of employment. So the sectors which follow all these, the sector is called the organized sector. You can see the pictures of organized sector. Organized sector, they are the organized. Army wings, the organized sector. The call centers are the organized sector. So these are the organized sector. And what are the advantages? They are enjoys the job security, workers several benefits, whatever I discuss how the Kanta is getting the several benefits. Then workers who get medical benefits enjoy facilities like safe drinking water and safe working environment. But unorganized sectors are those sectors, it can be seen in a small and scattered. You can see the small and scattered units all are the unorganized sectors pictures. These are the unorganized sector. They are not registered under any business act. They are not following any rules and regulation. It is depends upon the whims of the employer. There is no job security. There is no fixed time of working. There is no all sorts of benefits whatever the Kanta is getting. So these are the disadvantages of the unorganized sector. Now you see how to protect workers in an unorganized sector. If it is so, how to protect the workers in the unorganized sector? The question arises. Vulnerable people in rural area. Which people are the very maximum vulnerable in the rural area? Landless agricultural farmers, sharecroppers, artisans such as the weavers, blacksmith, carpenters, small and marginal farmers. They are most the vulnerable. How to protect them? By supplying all the raw materials to them, inputs to them, as well as by giving the facility of their storage facilities, marketing outlets, and credit from the government, loan from the bank. Then if we are talking about the vulnerable people in urban area, who are those urban area? Workers in small scale industries, casual workers, traders, transport, and these workers are the street vendors, head load workers. These are the vulnerable in the urban areas. How to protect them? To give the cheap loan in a low rate of interest. Then the people can engage in the small scale industry. They can open the shops. They can go for the selling purposes. So in such a way we can protect them. Maximum vulnerable people are from SC, ST and backward communities. The government should support by helping them in unorganized sector. Next is sectors on the basis of ownership. It divided into public sector and private sector. What is public sector? Public sectors are those sectors which are run by the government, owned and run by the government. The main aim is to public welfare, like railways, LIC, BSNL. These are the SBI. These are the public sector. The main aim is to give the welfare to the people. Whereas in case of a private sectors are those sectors who owns and runs by private individual or a group of individual, and their main motive is to get the profit, not the public welfare. The different software companies are coming under the private sector. Beside the Tisco, Hindustan Lever, Jindal, Tata Motors, these are some of the example of private sector. Besides children, the government should, in India, the public sector predominates in mining, power generation, healthcare, education. These sectors are basically in the hand of government, because if it will go to the private sector, the customers or the public have to pay maximum rate for the use of it. So the role of public and government sector under this generation of income, capital formation, infrastructure, development of basic industry, transportation and dealing with public amenities. So if the public sector will run all these things, definitely the people will get the welfare. So some sectors should the government keep in his hand to protect the public, because private sector, they are always profit motive. Children, this is all about our chapter 2, the sectors of Indian economy. Now we are going to stop our class. Thank you so much for your cooperation, children. Thank you.